Alright, here we are once again, and Exculpate is finally here, as well as like 20 plus cards that are mostly promos, so we are going to be talking about them all real quick. I've been really excited for Exculpate's reveal, because I've had this hunch for months now, that based on Blaster Blade's design, Exculpate was going to be a next stage. And today, it was finally proven true. All the leaks that had come out regarding Exculpate had all proven that true. But now this finally puts it to rest. So here we are, Exculpate, grade 4. On place, you can Counter Blast 1, choose a soul, and Soul Blast everything else. And when it attacks that turn, it battles all of your opponent's units. So it's a board wipe for Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast a bunch. Which is really strong. And then at the end of the battle that attacks, you put 2 cards from your hand into its soul, you retire this unit, and you ride a Blaster Blade from your soul and stand. If you could not ride, you lose. So you get a second attack with Blaster Blade as long as you've drawn into it at some stage in the game. Unfortunately, this means Exculpate has really bad, it's completely anti-synergy with Alfred Early. Because Alfred Early takes it out of the soul. So if you rode Blaster Blade on your grade 2 turn to ensure that you have it in the soul for Exculpate later, if you go into Alfred Early at any point, well, now your Blaster Blade is out of the soul, you need to draw into another one. And when you want to be using like King of Knights, Alfred, to plus your board with Blaster Blades, that's something that you don't want happening. So it's really, really unfortunate. And what makes this super unfortunate is Benon is a clone of Novel Roman, except it's a grade 2. It's on place, reveal and Exculpate the Blaster from your hand, return it to deck, search your deck for an Alfred Early, and put it into hand. Which really, really sucks, because you don't want to be running Alfred Early. Like, Alfred Early does not work with the deck at all. So this goes completely against what the deck wants. But regardless, this is very strong, and what I'm very excited about is the fact that its cost puts 2 cards from hand into soul. Now, this is a -2 that you get back with the +1 from Blaster Blade's attack, but the big thing here is, at that point, you're at 3 soul. So, what this means is that it's not really that unreliable to be able to follow this up with a Soul Saver play. And back-to-back Exculpate with Soul Saver, that is extremely strong, and the kind of finisher that Laurel's really, really needed. Because even with Exculpate, with this sort of costing, it's not reliable enough to be able to repeat this. It's more reliable than Soul Saver was, but it's still not reliable enough. Now, this also gives credence to running stuff like Funnel Gall, which I was super against in the past. But now, what Funnel Gall lets us do is it lets us help ensure that we're able to follow up this Exculpate play with a Soul Saver play, or do the Soul Saver play first and then go into Exculpate. If we say the situations where we do Soul Saver first, it's basically just if we have a Blaster Blade in our hand, so we're not worried about Soul Blasting out, or if we have 6 soul because we are amazing at this game. If either of those scenarios happened, then we can just Exculpate. We can just Soul Saver turn 3 and then go into a turn 4 Exculpate, and it's all good. Now, if you're worried about not having ride fixing, don't worry about it. I've done the math. 12, 10, 7, 3 for our grade ratio. For 12 grade 1s, 10 grade 2s, 7 grade 3s, 3 grade 4s works well enough. We lose about 5% ride consistency, but that isn't enough. That running a card like Benon is worth it. And running Alfred Early is definitely not worth it. So what I'm thinking right now is 4 Soul Saver, 3 King of Knights, 3 of this, and then 2 Funnel Gall. Unfortunately, there isn't really a grade 1 alternative to Funnel Gall. If there was, I'd run it in an instant, because that's the kind of thing I'd really want, because that's where we actually have some potential room. But yeah, mainly what you're going to be doing, if you're not going for the grade 3 one, you're going to for the turn 3 Soul Saver push, going into turn 4, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to save your Akanes and Pongals and Funnel Galls enough so that you can drop them on turn 4, turn 5 to get Soul Saver off on turn 5. That's generally what you want to be doing. I'm going to be doing testing on this probably on CFA once an unofficial drops. But yeah, that's basically the game plan here. Now, moving on from Exculpate and Benon, we have a whole bunch of promos. So let me just sort them out. Okay, this is all the NL4 ones, more NL4. This is more of the EBO3 stuff. So we'll just put those together. Okay, so our first batch is one for each clan, of course. We have Medical Gunner Hermes, which on Rearguard and Guardian Circle. If you have 5 or more cards in your damage zone, this can't be retired. It gets power plus 10,000 and shield plus 5,000. Now, of course, 5 damage, not exactly reliable. Unless we get something that like lets that happen reliably, then like this will change. But as it is now, that's not reliable, so probably not going to be run. Ladybug Cavalry is when placed, it gets power plus 2,000, and when it's placed by a card's ability, Carablast 1, power plus 10k. Now, how good this will be is very dependent, of course, on how Carablast heavy the deck as a whole is. This might, since it gets something regardless of the Carablast payment, this might be worth. If the Empty Soul thing is unreliable, this would be better than the 17-2 grade 2, because we can just intercept away. It's only a good attacker temporarily, but you know. And then the real good one here is Frontline Valkyrie Laurel. This was previously a grade 3, if I recall correctly. I believe her Medical Gunner was as well. So very interesting here. But Frontline Valkyrie Laurel is, it gets plus 2k for each of your other rear guards. And because of how Plant Tokens and Neo Nectar as a whole works, you're going to be having a full field almost always. So this is going to be a reliable 17k attacker that jumps up to like that'll get up to good numbers pretty easily. It's 9k, which is very unfortunate when we're dealing with a Force clan, but this is still 17k very reliably, so this might be very good just on that merit. We'll have to see how it goes in the future, what other things Neo Nectar gets, but this is the thing that has the most promise of these three, in my opinion. Then on to the next batch of promos. Golden Beast Rampage Turtle. When it attacks, if you have more rear than your opponent, it gets the Valkyrie effect. It's only 8k, but that's 18k on Excel. I think this could work. It is 8k, which is again very unfortunate, but the Valkyrie effect is very powerful, and doing that for basically free on a grade 2 is very, very good. Incise Angel, like all these kinds of effects need to do is they need to be able to beat over any interceptors, and that'll be easy enough to do with this. So yeah, I think this is something that could very easily have a place in the deck. Then we have Incise Angel. When placed, put a card from your damage zone at the bottom of your deck. Then you put the top card of your deck into your damage zone and flip a face-up card in your damage zone face down. I don't understand the point of this. Like, unless Ratio isn't able to reliably swap damage every turn, then we might want something like this. But as it is right now, this is... I don't know why you'd run this. And then, like, it's Carablast 1 to swap, and you don't even get anything to hand or field or anything. Like, why would one run this? I don't understand the point of this. And then Sunlight Garden's Guide. When placed, call up to the same number of plant tokens as the number of plant tokens on your rear guard to open rear guard. So basically, you get up to 2 plant tokens for free. So this is just more free plant token generation, and that's pretty good, especially with the Leak Cecilia skill, which the leak that we have is you can drop a plant token from your field to check top 5, call something from among them, and all your plant tokens get power equal to the thing you called. So if your field is full of plant tokens, you're going to be able to reap the maximum benefits of that ability, and you know that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So this could very easily have a place in the deck. Now, then we move on to the promo pack 2 stuff. This is stuff that we're of course not worried about whether we're getting or not, because you know you know. So Dark Side Pegasus isn't anything special. It's if you have 3 less rear guards, power plus 3 allows and boost. Nothing too great. We have 10k boosters as is, so no need for something like this. However, Fierce Sword Dragon is very interesting. Now, its effect isn't the greatest. It's retire itself to give 2 of your units plus 3k. However, what's very cool about this card, of course, is that it's a 5k grade 1, which means it's something that can be called by in the main. So your main, when like your field is full, can now turn into, okay, give 2 of your units plus 3k. It's a nice little option to be given. So it's nice that the main has other things it can call now. Continue to get free pluses, and you know, it's just a nice card. Yeah, it's rad. I don't think it'll see play though. Murakumo stuff. So Stealth Fiend, Gasha Dukuro, yeah, is Vanguard and Rearguard. Once per turn, rest 1 of your rear guards, and this gets power plus 5,000. Not really seeing it, but this could be like, say in some matchups, you put the arrestor, one of your arresters in the back row, at least temporarily, and this would be able to hit decent numbers. However, like it's a grade 2, and we're not going to run this over Fushimi, so like it's a no-go because of that. And Leaf Raccoon is fairly nice on Vanguard and Rear. 7k when placed, 1 of your units gets power plus 3k. This had some brief consideration until the next Murakumo promo was shown, but we'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, it's another 7k, which really sucks, but it gets more stuff up to 3 stages, which is nice. But overall, not very worth. Dark regular stuff. Blue Dust is fairly okay. On hit, it's a multi-soul charge. You soul charge equal to your opponent's grade, which is okay. And Nightmare Baby, which is when it boosts, this unit gets power plus 2,000 until end of turn for every 5 cards in your soul. So this is a marginally better version of Prisoner Beast at 10 soul or 15 soul. Like, I'm having trouble thinking of any specific numbers that this actually helps make at those thresholds, and it would require dropping like dots like Doreen and Prisoner Beast, like those cards that do this stuff better and contribute to the soul charging. So there's no real place for Nightmare Baby. And we have Pale Moon. So Pale Moon has some interesting stuff here. Peekaboo is, both of these are grade 2s. Peekaboo is a grade 2 when you put into your soul from rear guard, you can counter blast 1, soul blast 1 to put one of your opponent's rear guards into the soul. So 1, this can get rid of Promise Daughter, which is very, very nice. More stuff that can get rid of Promise Daughter, pulls that thing into check. And it also, like, just the ability to kill anything on your opponent's field is very, very strong. Now, the cost is pretty hefty, but you do get the soul right back if you killed a grade 2 or greater. In general, this is a very nice card that I could very easily see seeing play. It's very cool. Dreaming King of Comedy, it's once per turn when your other rear guard is placed from soul, it gets power plus 5k. So, pretty free for 14k attacker, which is pretty nice. Could easily see this replacing what's it called, Amaranth or whatever it's called, because it's pretty easy to enable this, and like 14k, it's the good numbers that Amaranth was being run for. So yeah, solid stuff. And Shadow Paladins, and so this is another batch of promos. Shadow Paladins, Dark Regulars, Pale Moon, Murakumo, all 4 clans got 1 card. So Shadow Paladins card, this could see play, maybe. AK grade 2 Enforce. That's a problem. But when placed, you counterblast monsters your deck for up to 2 trigger units. Call them to rear guard. So you +2, and then you get to kill them off with PBD. Like, easy fodder. Like, just getting this off immediately does that. And this does this also on Vanguard Circle. So as far as hitting your opponent wise, the low power doesn't really come into the issue at all. And it's actually hitting 2 stages against opposing grade 1 Vanguards. This is a pretty rad card, actually. I like it quite a bit. Would not be surprised if this ends up seeing play. Because this is such easy fodder. Like this is the only +2 in the clan, if I recall correctly. It has no from hand restriction, so it works just fine when called off of car. Taking triggers out of your deck kind of really sucks, but I don't think it's that big of an issue when it's this big of a plus. So you know, might see play because this certainly has potential. Prison Fallen Angel Seracriel for Dark Regulars. 12k grade 2 that on Vanguard or Rearguard when it would attack, it cannot attack without Soul Blast 1. So yeah, it must Soul Blast 1 to attack. Very, very nice card. But what am I talking about? It's not nice at all. Sometimes I just say very, very nice when I'm trying to gather my thoughts. You might notice that sometimes. My bad. But no, this is trash. You have to Soul Blast to do it, and like it's not even hitting any great numbers with that. Defensively, it's okay, but like you need stuff that gets you up to no life king thresholds, and this takes you away from no life king thresholds, and thus it is ass. And last up, Lark Pigeon exists. Thank God. Okay, so Lark Pigeon is a 3k grade 0 that at the end of you or your opponent's turn, if your hand is two or less cards, which basically means you went down to 0 cards before Twin Drive, you may return this card to your hand. This is I love this card. I don't expect to see play, but this is a rad card. And it's even 15k shield. I didn't even notice that. Most grade 0s are just 10k shield, but no, this is 15k shield. So like it's even good shield value. So you know, it's rad. I wish it was a trigger, but you can't get everything you want. And then we have the big boy, this Murakumo grade 1. So first point, it's 8k power. Murakumo has been freaking starved for half decent 8k power grade 1s. It's all they want in the world. And then its effect is when your opponent's Sentinel is placed on Guardian Circle during the battle that your Vanguard attacked, you return a normal unit from your drop zone to your deck. Search your deck for up to 1 card with the same card name as your Vanguard, and you call it to Rearguard. So basically, you attack with something that was on your Excel circle first, then you swing with Vanguard, and now if your opponent Sentinels this, now you just call another copy of whatever it is to your Excel circle. It swings for 22. And if, say, you're on Musashi, because sometimes you ride Musashi post Danbaku lock. Sometimes that happens. You could be calling a Musashi, and now they have to deal with another Musashi. So, you know, now they're very unlikely to Sentinel a Musashi Vanguard in the first place, to be honest. But this is very good, and it's especially good pressure against Protect clans. Because, like, okay, you have PGs in your hand, you have to use them at some point if you want to help survive. And the Musashis aren't going to be good to use this against, so pick wisely. And just the fact that it's an 8k grade 1, 10k shield with a decent effect just does so much. That's such a big factor, to be honest. It shouldn't be, honestly, but it is. So, you know, this is a really good card for Murakumo. Now, I am slightly concerned because this is 6 promos for EBO3 and 4 for the AL4 stuff, and I have no clue how Blizzard is going to distribute them. Now, when they're getting released, there is a possibility that we'll just get surprise box toppers. Because I know Bushy often won't announce when a set is having box toppers, and then it'll come out and it's just like, hey, have some surprise box toppers. So, best case scenario, the AL4 ones are just box toppers, and I don't know what they do with these ones. Because in addition to these 6, there's also the monthly Bushiroad, there's also the Angel Feather promo that we got, and there's an upcoming Gold Paladin promo for the next monthly Bushiroad. So, kind of concerned with what's going to happen there. Because that's 8 promos there. But considering they officially translated them as stream stuff here, and they often just don't show the promos that aren't coming over anytime soon in streams from what I've seen, when they do their official translations. Like when they did even with ones that are coming over, like I don't recall them showing the Special Fight Pack 1 promos in their official translation. So, you know, I have some more confidence than I normally would based on them doing that. But a bunch of these promos are quite nice, and like especially the Golds and Neil Nectar ones, and that Murakumo one specifically. Very nice stuff. And Shop Island one. Yeah, Shop Island had some nice ones in there. So hopefully they come over quite promptly. And we find out what's happening with them so that we're not left in the dark for a million years. But with that said, this is Henry Surge, signing off.